And the Senate has approved a $70 billion budget plan to fund Homeland Security immigration operations. It follows a 6-hour vote-a-rama that ended early this morning. Senators passed the resolution in a 50-48 vote along party lines. 2 Republican senators joined Democrats to vote against it: Rand Paul of Kentucky and Lisa Murkowski of Alaska. The partial Homeland Security Department shutdown is now in its 68th day. Democrats and Republicans have been at an impasse over funding for ICE after federal agents killed American citizens Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis in January. Now, earlier this month, President Trump said Congress must pass a DHS funding package by June 1st. And for more, let's bring in CBS News congressional correspondent Nikole Killion. Nikole, good to have you on. So what's included in this budget measure and what happens next?
Yeah, well, just to be clear, this isn't necessarily legislation that would fund immigration enforcement operations per se. It's really just what we would call a budget blueprint. So it's just kind of a guiding document, if you will, that instructs various committees here in Congress to start drafting legislation to fund ICE and Border Patrol. And so this now goes to the House, and it could get tricky there because in the Senate, Leader Thune has made clear he just wants to hew very closely to this. Let's just find a way to fund immigration enforcement, since that was a key sticking point in this DHS funding, which still remains stalled. But you have some Republicans, particularly in the House, who want to broaden this package out to potentially include other GOP policy priorities. So Speaker Mike Johnson is having to thread this needle very carefully with his conference, but he said he does want to move quickly on this. However, he has also made clear that he is not going to move on funding the rest of DHS until Republicans can settle on this budget path forward, if you will. So that's why this funding is still hanging in the balance more than 2 months after funding lapsed for the Department of Homeland Security. And time is really of essence here, because Secretary Mullen, the new Department of Homeland Security secretary, said just this week in an interview that after the first week in May, he's not going to be able to pay his employees. We know the president and the Trump administration did this executive order to pay TSA and to pay the rest of the DHS employees, but Mullen says that's not going to be possible after the first of the month. So timing is really essential here. Of course, Democrats are continuing to push a bill that already passed the Senate, which would fund the remainder of the Department of Homeland Security, things like TSA and FEMA, Secret Service, etc. But again, the Speaker says he'll do that once they get this funding straight with immigration enforcement.
Clock is certainly ticking. Nikole Killion, for us tonight on Capitol Hill. Nikole, thank you.